Will and I set our vows almost 21 years ago, and it's been an incredible journey ever since. But we struggled through a lot of pain to get where we are today. Here's the real story of becoming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh, my goodness.
Look who we have
Look who is at the table.
Yes.
We got Willard,
Yes.
Carol, Smith.
Yes. Very excited to be here on the red table with you ladies. You know, I've been away for a while, been at work. I was very surprised that the house wasn't a house no more. It's red.
It's a set.
It's a set.
It's a set. Just one part of it, though.
You look spectacular today, love.
Oh, thank you, Willard.
You do.
Thank you so much.
Very happy to be here.
She's a
We're happy to have you here, Will. What are we going to talk about today?
Love and
Relating.
we're going to say a whole lot of stuff about our relationship. For years and years, there's been a lot of speculation about us, and our family has been pretty secretive and not secretive
good.
as much as
Secretive.
I think
It's
it's
just
good.
private.
it's just private. It's been private.
Yeah, they think, oh, something weird must be
Something-
going
Yeah.
on, when it's really just we don't be putting everything out there like that.
Yeah. We have created a marital and family paradigm that has been speculated about for a lot of years.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to
Let's
sit
start
down
with
and
day one,
tell
then.
the truth.
Let's start with
Day one. Day one. Day one.
The first time I met you was at the Fresh Prince when I came to audition. I think I was 19.
Yeah.
And they told me I was too short.
Yeah.
But you were there.
Yes. So I remember you were on Different World.
Yes.
And Alfonso knew everybody. And I remember the first time I saw you.
I actually think I dated Alfonso.
You went on a date with Alfonso,
yeah,
yes.
I think I went on
You
one.
did?
I think I went
That's
on
crazy.
one date together.
And he like took you on a motorcycle or
I
something.
think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
My memory is I dated a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Easy.
Yeah, but we went on one date.
All right,
and it
I've had
was-
enough of the red table. So Alfonso knew you. I was like, yo, dude, I saw this girl on Different World last night. I was like, her name is Jada. Dude, he said, oh, yeah, my boy knows her. He can introduce you. I have a thing. I recognize when I see a person if our relationship can be exponential. The first night with Jazzy Jeff,
Right.
with 15 minutes, I was like, yo, me and that dude can create.
Right.
Exactly.
Right? I just feel it and I know it when somebody is right for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
First night I met Alfonso. Like we were playing, I was like, me and that dude are magic.
Right.
When I saw you on Different World, it was that thing. And I don't know what it is, that the bell rings, and I knew that there was something in our energy that would be magic.
Wow.
And so I was like, Alf, hook it up. Fresh Prince taped on Friday nights, and Different World taped on
I think
Thursday.
Thursdays, yeah.
Thursday, so it was the night before, so Alf was like, yo, I can set the meeting up. So we went, you know, and it was first season. I was Fresh Prince, you know. So I walked up in the audience, A Different World. I was the Fresh Prince, you know. So it was, you know, I walked in, I sat down in the audience, and the taping started, and then Alf was like, yo, that's my boy that knows her, and he sat down, and I was like, yo, who's that girl he's with? I was like, the dude that was going to introduce me to Jada
You're crazy.
was with another girl, and I was like, who
Who
is
was that girl?
And it was Cherie.
Wow.
He went to
I
Different
went to
World
Different World to meet
me,
Jada
Wait.
but
and met
Cherie.
Cherie and ended up marrying Cherie and having Trey
Trey.
with Cherie.
That's just trippy.
Wow.
You didn't know
I don't think I've heard that before.
I didn't meet Jada that day. We had a party at our house or something. Me and Cherie had a party at the house or something.
that? And I came with, I can't remember who I
some
was
joker, some two-bit joker.
with. Whatever.
We had all of these near misses, and every time we saw each other, it was always a beautiful energy.
Right.
The real time was probably, I think Dwayne and
Tisha.
had a thing at the baked potato.
Yep.
And we sat down at the baked potato.
And talked.
And we talked. There was a really unique, beautiful power.
Yeah.
We had that moment and we connected, but I was married and it
Yeah.
was, you know.
Damn.
And we
That was
just.
it.
That was it.
We did not have an affair.
We did not have an
while
affair.
He was married.
Nope,
Let's be
not at
clear
all.
about that.
Not
No.
at all. It was just that next night me and Cherie went to dinner. And I sat down with Cherie, and it was one of the most bizarre emotions I ever had after we had that talk. And we were at the Palm. And I remember I had to get up from dinner when I had a realization that I wasn't with the person I was supposed to be with.
But you would have stayed with her forever.
Forever. I would have never gotten divorced.
Yep.
Wow.
I went in the bathroom at the Palm, and I broke down in tears.
Wow.
And I was sitting in a stall in the restaurant, and I was crying uncontrollably and then laughing, like, what the heck is wrong with me? And I was crying and laughing. And it's like, I knew that was the woman I was supposed to be with, but I was never getting divorced.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't get divorced.
Right.
Like all the emotions.
All the emotions at one time.
Like
I was
happy
like,
that you figured it out.
but devastated emotionally. And then I had
it would
to,
never come to fruition.
It was never going to happen.
fruition.
I just had to get my gangster back together. I got myself together, went back out, sat down with Cherie, and started going back on with my life.
Yep. Yep. And then she divorced you.
And then Cherie filed for divorce. She hit me hard. Cherie filed for divorce on Valentine's Day. I was like, ouch, ouch. And I still told her, I said, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't have a divorce. And she hit me with so you're gonna make somebody stay with you who doesn't love you. And I was like, what? I'm actually not. Nope, I'm not. And I was like, that was the one that got me. And I remember I was like, I'm gonna sign the divorce papers. I walked out of there, and I was in the car, and I had Jada's number. I literally walked right out from there. I called Jada. Because you had moved back to Baltimore.
I had bought a house.
You bought a house in Baltimore. She was not going to live in Hollywood. She had left the business and bought a farm in Baltimore.
That's amazing.
I bought a farm.
I said, hey, Jada, what's up? It's Will. She said, hey, how you doing? I said, good. I said, are you seeing anybody?
Oh, my God.
And she said, no. I said, cool, you're seeing me now.
And my dumb
And she
ass was
said,
like, okay. My dumb ass.
She got on a plane, came back to L.A.
And never
never
left.
spent one night in her farm in Baltimore.
No.
Never spent one
Never
night in the house she
completed
bought.
That's actually kind of
Renovations.
sad. I always know how much you wanted to have that kind of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's okay
I know.
because I got you.
I know. But it's just like...
Everything
know.
happens for a reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then we started dating, and then I got pregnant
Yeah.
2 years in. I knew the moment after the act
Yeah.
that I was pregnant. The moment. But I knew that night, and he didn't believe me, but I knew. And it was almost like, you know those big locks on a bank?
Yeah.
Those big turning locks? I could feel that in my womb, in my uterus. And
But
I was like...
it was literally
Yeah.
4 seconds after we had sex, and she goes, I said, babe, you okay? She's like, I'm pregnant. I was like, babe, I think scientifically you're not pregnant. I think scientifically you're not pregnant yet.
I cried that whole night.
Damn.
She cried all night
I
because
cried
she was
all
pregnant
night
and
long.
she knew.
I was like,
My life is
my
never
life
going to be
is
the same.
never going to be the same.
Yeah,
Damn.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
Of
he
course
thought it was
you would think it was
hilarious.
funny.
I was like, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really didn't want to get married, but...
We only got married because Gammy was crying.
Well, Gammy, this is what happened. It was almost as if Gammy was like, you have to get married. So let's talk about the wedding. It was almost like that.
Like she completely just was like, that's not a reality
and
where you're
I
not
was
married.
under so much pressure, you know, being a young actress, being
Yeah.
young.
And
I was just
and
like,
pregnant.
And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. But I just knew, I was like, I never wanted to be married.
I don't remember that. I remember feeling very strongly and wanting you guys to be married. I do remember that. But
Yes.
I don't remember your rejection of the idea of marriage. I remember the rejection of the idea of a wedding.
I didn't want a
But
wedding
not
either.
a She
didn't want it,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't want to get married, and now Gammy done gone to Will crying about I don't want to have a wedding, and now I'm being forced to have a wedding. when really I just wanted it to be the two of us on a mountain because I was like, this is serious business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I didn't respect your wishes. It was totally a selfish. I'll never have that experience of my daughter getting married
Right.
because you were my only child. But that was so selfish.
It's okay. I mean,
It was the right call.
it was the right
I know
call.
it was the right call for you
call.
to marry,
Yeah,
but not
yeah.
necessarily. That's what I'm
to have a
talking
wedding,
about.
yeah.
To have a wedding, because the wedding was horrible.
Because
It was a horrible wedding.
It was a mess. Jada was sick. She was very unpleasant. Wouldn't cope. But she was sick. She didn't cooperate with
You were 6 months pregnant at the wedding.
No, I was
How many?
3 months.
3 months pregnant at the
Yeah,
wedding.
so she was having
My
all that
first
morning
trimester
sickness.
was
Oh, it was horrible.
And I was so upset that I had to have a wedding. I was so pissed. I went crying down the freaking aisle.
Oh, getting married.
Getting married. Cried the whole way.
And I was
Down
like,
the aisl.
I was like,
And Will was like,
hey.
hey. I was like, oh,
she'll be all right, don't worry.
Yeah, because that was one question I forgot to ask. She said that she never wanted to get married. Did you?
There wasn't a day in my life that I wanted anything other than being married and having a family.
Wow.
From
Well, thank the good Lord.
literally 5 years old, I was picturing what my family would be.
Wow.
What was the fundamental bump about the idea of marriage in general that you were against?
I just never really agreed with the construct.
Exactly.
I just don't agree with it. I never have. I still don't.
Yeah.
Till Death Do Us Part is real for me. It's just all of the rules and
It's
all
like
of the
you're supposed to do
ideas.
this
Right.
as a wife. You're
You
supposed
know,
to do this.
yeah,
As a husband, you're supposed to do this.
Instead of
Right.
And
really
what you
just
can't do.
And what you can't do, right, absolutely.
Because of this title, wife is a
The
very
defi- the-
difficult.
the accepted conventional
conventional definition
of a
of
wife,
wife.
right.
The paradigm.
In the
Yes.
paradigm, I'm not that.
Right. I don't know if I've ever said this. You know how I'm a scientist, so everything is science for me.
Yes.
I read something when we first got together that the most successful men in history have been married,
Right.
right?
Right.
And for me, I knew that I would squander my life if I was running around.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way my mind works, I can only excel for a woman.
Aww.
Like I can't.
I think a lot of men are like that, though.
Yeah.
I think women are true motivators
Yeah.
for men.
And the one thing that I think has been the greatest motivator and asset for me with you is your absolute refusal to accept anything from me other than the best that I could possibly be.
Right, and vice versa.
Yeah, I remember me and Mommy talk for hours in the morning. There's something about that first thing in the morning that we literally can talk for 2.5, 3 hours.
But y'all can
First
do
thing
that
in the
at
morning.
any time in the
Anytime.
day. Let me just tell you, because that was one of the things that I admired so much about your relationship, and I recognized that I didn't have it in mind. It's so important.
There was a moment that launched our communication. Before we got married, we were having the party at the house. Remember that? We were playing Pictionary, 20 people around the table.
Yes.
And Trey is sitting on my lap. He's like 1.5. He's like, he might be just about 2. In some order, she cursed at me in front of 20 people at this party. She's like, Will, would you shut the up?
Ooh.
With Trey sitting on my lap,
I remember that.
right? And I grabbed a newspaper and I said, bah! Can I talk to you in the other room, please?
And I was like,
Right.
did this joker just hit me on my head with a newspaper? Like I'm a dog?
We went in the other room, and I said, Jada, this is the deal. I grew up in a household where I watched my father punch my mother in the face.
Damn.
And I will not create a house, a space, an interaction with a person where there's profanity and violence. If you have to talk to me like that, we can't be together.
Wow.
We're not going to use any profanity in our interactions. We're not going to raise our voice. We're not going to be violent. I can't do it.
Yeah.
She was like, well, you're not going to be hitting me in my head. I said, get out.
Dang.
Right? And she was looking, that was the dumbest crap she had ever heard in her. She was like, wait, so you would break up with me over some words? I was like, yeah, I just did. I was like, we're not cursing.
Damn.
And her eyes welled up with tears. And she was like, okay. It was 20 years before we used profanity in any conversation that we had. We didn't use any profanity in any argument. We never raised our voices. We took communication courses, all of that.
That's beautiful.
And we never had violence.
You never raised your voice?
We didn't raise our voices.
We couldn't afford to. We just couldn't because
It could get
ugly. We wouldn't have been able to nurture kindness, love.
What do you
do with our feelings?
With the emotion that comes when you're angry?
You really have to discipline yourself.
Right.
Like for me, I had to discipline myself and really handle that within myself to see, okay, what are you angry about? And then come to peace and then go and talk to Will when I can actually have a communication. Because really, you're not communicating when you're talking to each other in anger. What I realized is like, you're beating up on someone you say you love.
Absolutely.
Right? Versus handle that with yourself. There have been plenty of times when we have to go, I can't do this right now.
To go through your thoughts and
go through my thoughts,
out.
Go cry, go curse, go kick a tree.
Absolutely.
And
deal,
come back to the situation when you're calm
and peaceful.
Reasonable.
Because then you just create more problems.
Absolutely.
You're mad about how you got to the argument. Now you're mad about what happened in the argument. What you said, what you did, your tone.
Because you can never pull it back. And that was one of the things we learned really early.
We learned that.
You apologize 1,000 times. You never get it back. And you get addicted to it also.
And that
you get addicted. Like
if you keep on doing it.
Once you call somebody a couple times,
it's real easy to repeat it.
You know?
And to just go to that.
I'm telling you, me and Will were not the ones.
We were not the ones.
We would have killed each other.
These kids could have heard all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it would have gone bad. And we both instinctually
knew that it could go wrong. I pre-planned the things that I would say when I was in that place.
Exactly.
So I had stock things. I would say, I'm impaired. I can't be loving right now. I can't be kind right now. So you have to let me go. And when I come back, I will come back in a way that is the way you deserve me to deliver myself to you.
Or he would just be like, I'm gonna leave before I knock your head off. I'll see you in a minute.
You know what I think is really strong? And the thing with the two of us that never got out is the intention. We were always in sync on a couple of really powerful ideas. We were always building a family.
Yep, always.
We were always building.
That was our number one priority.
That was our number one priority. We
were
family.
That until this day, no matter what, family.
Yes.
No matter what. So everything else that might have gone awry or crazy.
We had cross intentions sometimes that made us collide. Right? That was one of the major difficulties that we had. Because externally, everything was beautiful. As a couple, we are magical. We win in the material world. When we do it together, we win. Right? The Karate Kid, Whip My Hair, Hawthorne, and the Nobel Peace Prize. Our family did that within a 6-month period, right?
That's crazy. So I didn't know that.
I was like, I'm parenting the hell out these kids. Like, we are killing it. She on Hawthorne. The only interview that Barack Obama did when he won the Nobel Peace Prize was me and Mommy.
Wow.
Right? Externally, our family was winning, right? And there was a period where Mommy woke up and cried 45 days straight. I started keeping a diary.
Damn.
You missed some days.
It was every morning. I think that's the worst I've ever felt in our marriage.
Wow.
I was failing miserably. But on the outside, I was winning. Like, built a house and called the house her lake, right? And during that time, I remember saying, like, I built this house for you. I called it her lake. And she said, you built this house for you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what you talking about, Jada? But it was devastating for me to accept that I built the house for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I was
Yeah.
saying I was building it for her, but I wasn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted this house. I
Exactly.
called it her lake as an ego cover,
Yeah.
right? And Jada was calling me on that,
Yep.
right? What I realized is I was building a picture.
Yep.
Yes.
I grew up in a household where I was scared and watched my father beat my mother up, right? So I was gonna build the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Wonderland.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be happy all the time. Come on, Willow, let's play.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though I was saying no all the way.
Yeah.
Will, the house is too big. Will,
too
not
big,
this.
right?
No, Will, and he had a picture.
I had a picture, and I had a public perception
had the public
that I wanted
perception that
to
he
project of
executed.
our relationship, of the family, and what my kids are, and what my wife is, and what we are in the
Yeah.
world.
Did you ever feel like Jada was ungrateful?
Hell yeah.
Look at everything that I've done for you.
Yes.
That was another
You
thing.
ungrateful.
But
Yeah.
that was the other thing, because there were times I felt ungrateful. Because I was like, look at your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could you be so unhappy? I used to think I was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually how I felt when I first got wind of your discontent. It wasn't
Yeah.
that I thought that you were ungrateful. I just didn't understand, like,
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
what could possibly be wrong?
But that's why I couldn't talk to
got Will.
anybody. Right. And that's what everybody thought.
But Jada's an actress, but she had 2 babies, and she had to be home to raise her babies while I got to do everything I wanted to do. She
But-
was sacrificing herself to fit my picture.
Right.
Yeah.
But my life
Didn't
wasn't
really
really
change.
disrupted in the least, right? And I think that was if there were an individual most poisonous aspect of our relationship in the past, is I felt that money and winning made a good relationship.
Yep.
We're succeeding in the world. That means our relationship is good.
And I would say to him, I would go, Will, throw away everything that's happening in the outside world. Your career, everything. And it's just me and you on an island.
Damn.
What do we have?
And I was like, we have the island. We own the island.
You know what I mean?
And it was like, I so didn't comprehend that. So me and you on an island, what do we have? Not only did I not understand, I didn't care.
Right.
I was unaware of what it meant to truly connect with somebody.
I'd been trying to live up to an expectation for Will.
Yeah.
You
And
know-
you were trapped in a life that you didn't build,
That I didn't
you
build.
didn't want.
And that I didn't want, but that I had to come to the understanding that I allowed myself to have. You accepted all of that because of your fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the truth.
Damn.
Fear of...
Just fear of not wanting to rock the boat. I had kids,
Yeah.
you know, and just wanting to, you know, because he's a force to be reckoned with. There's just a lot of stuff you let slide and go past that angers you, and you
Right.
get resentment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, but you don't change it because you're scared.
you're scared, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about fear.
And that was around the time when Willow, I was so mad at you this day. When you put your hand on my face. remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And Willow, me and Jada are going through it. And Willow was like, oh, Daddy, it's so sad. And she's putting her hand on my face. She was like 9. And Jada was in the kitchen. And she's like, Mommy, isn't it sad? And Jada said, what? She said, Daddy has a picture of a family in his mind, and it's not us. I was like,
No, but it was such deep... No. The thing is, it was such deep truth, but I was just seeing the obvious. I was like,
out of the mouth of babes.
Out of the mouth of
Out of the
babes.
mouth of babes.
Mommy, isn't it sad?
Yeah.
And I think for me, the turning point in our relationship for me happened when I turned 40.
That 40th birthday
yeah,
was
I just couldn't. I was
You were
just
just
like,
fed up.
I was like, I can't do this like this anymore. We're back at the red table with Will because episode 1 was not enough. So we're going to continue the conversation.
What was your hardest time in our marriage?
I think the turning point in our relationship for me happened when I turned 40. That's when I had a midlife crisis.
Yeah, your 40th birthday was my low point. The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I had hired a documentary team. I traced Mommy's family roots. Her 40th birthday was going to be my thing.
It was going to be a splash.
It was going to be a splash. Mary J.
Definitely was a
Blige.
splash.
Mary J. Blige performed. I debuted the film, all of that. It was going to be the thing that lifted her out of this midlife crisis, and it was going to be my deepest, most beautiful proclamation of love, and we did it. And I had found tapes of Jada's grandmother, and her grandmother had recorded these voice messages over the last 8 months of her life.
Wow.
And it was tapes that Jada had never heard.
Wow.
So Jada had to sit there and listen. I understand thoroughly now. At the time I didn't. But she's listening to these never before heard tapes of one of the dearest people she's ever known in her life in front of all of these people. So she's holding it together, she's getting it together. Then I have Mary J. Blige performing. The whole time I'm like, the little boy that wants mommy to say everything was wonderful, right? And she's having a really difficult emotional time. And then when we got back to the room, it was me, you, and mommy, and we were talking about the next day, and there were things planned for the next day, and she said, I'm not sure I want to do anything the next day. You can just cancel it. And I said, well, let's keep it, and then tomorrow you can decide. She was like, I'm telling you now, I don't want to do anything tomorrow. And I said, well, it's okay. We'll just wait and see.
I just wanted to have intimate
Just
time.
intimate time. And I was like, well, I'll cancel tomorrow. She was like, it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Right? And she's told me that the party was the most ridiculous display of my ego.
Woo.
Crushed, right? And to this day, I know I was crushed because it was true.
Yeah.
It wasn't a party for her.
Yeah.
And when she called me on that, that's when I snapped. And I'm sorry, that was the only time you ever heard me snap. Come here, baby.
Thank God.
And listen, and I snapped in front of Willow. It was the only time in her childhood she ever saw me snap. And I saw her look, and Willow starts crying. And I was like, baby, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. She's like, just figure it out. You guys, please just figure it out. Just figure it out. Right? And I was like...
And that was a display, that moment of me having the courage to just say no.
No, yeah.
But now I had to have the courage to unravel it and just realizing this next 40, I got to do it my way. This next half has to be directed by my picture for myself.
I have to say that when you guys were going through that transition, I was like, what the hell?
Right.
Because everything was just...
Changing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know there was a need for change.
There was so much that wasn't me that I was living.
Yeah.
So much inauthenticity. I do think that there are a lot more people living lives that aren't true.
Aren't true. That is
to
so
them
painful.
because of their fear. So I understand, and there's no judgment. I did it.
Right. And
You
was
know.
some of that what you felt like you had to present yourself to the public?
I was much more conscious of public perception than Jada.
Yeah.
Right? There was an idea
I think I
of-
was trying to live up to an idea for him.
Right. I got some pictures. I was crying so hard after your birthday that my eyes would look so red. I took pictures of myself, and I was like, I want to remember this. That was a difficult one for me. When you stopped clapping when I did things in the exterior world that were great. Willow really broke it for me with Whip My Hair. in the middle of all the Whip My Hair stuff, she was on tour, and it was a great show, and everything was
amazing.
Amazing. It was we were at the top of the world with my hair. It's playing Jay-Z's side. It's beautiful. And she was like, okay, I'm done, Daddy. Huh? I was like, sweetie, you can't be done. You know, you made a commitment. She was like, but I'm finished. I was like, I know, sweetie, but you can't be finished. You made a commitment to Mr. Jay-Z. He said, no, Daddy, you made a commitment to Mr. Jay-Z.
Wait, did I really say that?
Yes. You were like, Daddy, it doesn't matter that I'm done?
Ooh.
Yes, sweetie, it matters a lot. It does, but you can't be done. She came down the next day and had shaved her head bald. I was like, does she know what she's doing? Like, that was a deep protest.
Yep.
What it did for me is I had a crazy realization in that moment. I was building what I wanted for her. And she tried all of the different ways to say, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I was like, I get it. And I saw for the first time what Jada had been saying the whole time about hiding behind my ego and my dreams and my desires and pretending like it's love. And I realized she didn't want none of the stuff I had built. The house was too big. It was always too many people here. She didn't want to have to travel the way we traveled. She didn't want all of her kids to be getting trolled on Twitter. Like, she didn't want any of that.
And that's why I stopped clapping. And it was a decline from there.
Yeah, to have to let go of the picture.
Yeah.
To have to let go of the dream was devastating. We essentially had to destroy our marriage.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, I can't do this anymore. And to me, it was over. But divorce was never even an option.
Gosh, I was like, wait a minute, hold it. No.
Like I was reading in the tabloids that we were getting divorced and all of that stuff. And it was like, it was never even
lawyers. I've never even seen a divorce lawyer. It was like, that was never...
It was never even a consideration.
My mind. Like,
but was it for you?
Because I had been divorced before, I wasn't getting divorced again.
Right.
Okay.
Like,
so
I wasn't. Like, divorce wasn't an option. There was a time when I was scared that she might.
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I put in too much.
Yeah.
Period. What is most important to me is my family.
You would think about the kids.
I was thinking about our family, not even just our immediate nucleus, but we have such a huge extended family.
Exactly.
And I knew that divorce wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Why do that? Why create all that disruption? But I told Will from the gate, I said, let me tell you something. If you marry me, know this. We're going to be together. We're going to be under the same roof. You might be on one end of that joker with somebody else. And I might be on one of this joker with somebody else.
Yeah.
And I always said, that's ridiculous.
But we're going to be in this joker together.
Yeah.
So
that's what we are going to do. That's not what either of us wants. But I don't want to leave this table making people feel like divorce is wrong. Sometimes that is what you need for whatever you need to discover about your situation and yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? But for me personally, I knew that there was no reason that he and I would ever, we just needed to get to agreement between he and I.
Yeah. I was devastated, even worse than a divorce. We broke up within our marriage and got back together again.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to rebuild.
I had to rebuild with new rules and
something way different.
Something way completely different.
The thing about it is that you really have to go your separate ways to figure out your stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be strong enough and understand clearly what it is you're in search for, you know, what it is you want, what it is you don't want. Because that whole time when you're in a union, you're pointing fingers because you're thinking it's your partner.
Yeah.
Because you guys are so
close. It's her fault. This house is great.
Right, exactly.
This house is great.
His fault.
This family is great.
He put me in a golden cage. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you have to get
And you're
away.
like, I built this for her and she don't even
appreciate it. A golden cage? This is a beautiful cage.
But you have to go your separate ways and get out of each other's way to really see yourself. So I had to go away, gain my strength as Jada again.
Yep.
Not mommy, not wife,
Right.
Jada, Corinne.
Yes.
Right.
Now that's the big one.
That's the big one.
People say it all the time. I have to find myself. Yo, that's real.
That's real talk.
That's real talk, right? I took off for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I worked on myself. I've read 50 books
Yeah.
on marriage and relationships and behavioral psychology. I was not going to fail in this marriage, right? But I shut down for 2 entire years to see what was I doing wrong.
Yep.
And it takes a lot of beating up on each other because really what you're breaking down is all the fantasies.
Yeah,
Right.
You're burning away all of your fantasies.
Yeah, because that fantasy starts so young.
Yes.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
hold on to that for dear life because that's all you know.
Right. Ultimately, to have a successful relationship, you have to be in a relationship with a human being.
Yeah.
You
An
know?
imperfect, flawed human being. Because what happened was our characters were trying to have a relationship. And if you're going to wear a mask, then the person's trying to love your mask, right? They're trying to love the image that you're presenting, but that's not what you really need.
Right.
What you really come to understand that there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
Everybody's operating from a place of hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Everybody's
saying?
broken.
Everybody's broken. And what I realized, the idea that my brokenness created all of my discomfort.
Absolutely. Mine too. The fact that I was broken and I learned how to look fixed to the world.
Right.
Right.
Will Smith is a character.
Yep.
Right? But deep down inside, I was an insecure little boy that wanted Jada to say I was great.
Oh.
Right? And if she didn't say I was great, the dragon came out.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I had a lot of emotional maturity to do.
Yes.
I had just realized I had a lot of childhood traumas that I had brought with me that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
A lot of father issues. And, you know, I realized that I had to learn to be a lot of things for myself.
Yep.
Because I used to think, well, if you don't need somebody, then you can't love them.
Right, exactly.
And if you're not
Yep.
needed, then you're not loved. That was a false belief I had. I can't expect someone to love me more than me. You know, if you don't like being with you, what the hell makes you think somebody else wants to be with you?
Yes,
If
exactly.
you don't love yourself,
Right. That's real
we
talk.
expect people to love us more than we love ourselves. We
Yeah.
expect other people to do the work for us.
Yeah. Right.
I
Somebody-
definitely went through that with Will.
Yeah.
I thought it was his job to make me feel a certain way.
Absolutely.
I had to break that fantasy.
Yeah.
I actually retired. I said, Jada, you know what? I retired. I am no longer doing the job of trying to make you happy. You know what? You are free to go make yourself happy, and you do anything.
Yeah.
Anything you want to make yourself happy, and you bring your ass back here happy just to show me that it's even possible.
Yep.
Fly, Pelican.
Pelican.
Yep.
You know, I was angry, but that's true.
Yep.
And that's the thing I had to learn.
Yeah.
I have to be the thing that I'm asking
Absolutely.
for. And if I can be it, then I can create it.
Absolutely. I would say if there were a thing that was the most detrimental to our relationship during that time was my unconsciousness. The other side of that is the key to a relationship is understanding your partner's plight,
Right.
right? There's nothing greater for a human being than to feel understood.
Yeah.
In 2012, I had built everything I had ever dreamed about. As a little boy, I saw this family, I saw this life, I've been building this.
And I was like, no. What's important is how we're connecting internally, like how we're relating,
Yeah.
heart to heart.
Right.
We're the complete opposite.
Yeah.
These are the things that we had to break,
Yeah, break.
Yeah.
Yes.
come to new understanding,
Oh,
and recreate
yeah.
Will and I have decided to even throw away the concept of marriage.
We don't even call ourselves married anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's a life partnership in the sense that we've created a foundation together that we know is for this lifetime.
For this lifetime. We have devoted ourselves to each other.
In a spiritual sense.
In a spiritual sense.
Spiritual, emotional. It's like whatever she needs, she can count on me for the rest of her life.
And vice versa. To me, it gives us the freedom to create a different context, first of all, for ourselves, to not have to live up to the expectation of what people consider marriage to be.
Expectations are the mother of disappointment.
Oh, my God, I can't do them. I can't do them. And now there's no fight. There's no struggle. There's no me needing him to be something or do something.
There's nothing that could happen that we won't be together and love each other.
And love each other through, you know.
Love each other through what? And it's not because we just saying it. It's because we've cracked each other's heads wide open. Right?
Yeah.
And we woke up the next day and high-fived and kept going. Right? And I think that's the part that we set each other free. Right? And people really struggle with that. The things that Jada needs to be happy, I'm not going to agree with them all, right? I truly have learned the definition of unconditional love.
And to me, that's what it's about.
I love you. I support you. I'm going to help you be happy no matter what. I don't have to like it. I describe it as the day the deal breakers are gone. We don't have any deal breakers.
I always knew I'm not marriage material. What I am is a ride-or-die chick.
What you are is the best friend that I've ever had.
Yay.
You're the best partner I've ever had.
And sometimes that gets lost.
Absolutely.
In marriage.
And I think for many years, you and I, oh man, I know we really kind of
tried to fit into the mold.
We tried
really hard.
We tried really hard. What we have between us is family and friendship. You know, it's a life partnership. We are in a union no matter what. We talk about
We talk about anything
and
everything. Rough, rugged, and raw.
Rough, rugged, and raw. And
we could break a red table with some of the stuff we talk about. Put a crack in a red table.
Real talk. But to me, that's what being in a relationship, that's what I need. And I'm not saying that's for every woman. That's what Jada needs. You know what I'm saying?
That's what Will needs. When people say love, they mean it transactionally, right? I love you as long as you do things that make me feel good. If you don't do the things that make me feel good, or if you, even worse, you do something that makes me feel bad, I don't love you.
And I'm going to disconnect.
I'm going to disconnect
myself from you.
When you go to sleep at night, knowing you have an unbreakable love, an unbreakable friendship, an unbreakable connection, that's how you want to go to sleep every night.
And that your love for the truth
who
you are, not who you think you should be for somebody. And that has been the ultimate release and freedom.
In my experience, the thing that everybody's looking for is not found in trapping a person to vows. And releasing each other from obligations and expectations has made all of the moments blissful. We did a thing probably about 4 years ago. It was like, okay, here's the deal. We're only going to do the things together we love. What happened is we gave each other 10 days out of the year that we would do what the other person wanted. Vacation in the summer, she'll come with me because I want to wild out, I want to climb a volcano, and that's not vacation for her, right? So, but she'll go with me for those 10 days, and then I'll come for Christmas and sit around and do the same old stuff we did last year with the same sweater we had on, with the same songs. Right? She wants to go on vacation and she wants nostalgia to do the same things over and over again. And when I go...
It's called
tradition. No, I get it. And I'm there for 10 days, right? But I want to go on an adventure.
Right.
I don't ever want to go the same place a second time.
Right.
And we really gave each other the freedom to do the things that
We love to do.
the world is my home.
Yeah.
Anywhere I am, I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
And Jada just doesn't
Does
want
not
to do
want
that. She doesn't want it. It's not fun. It's disruptive.
She runs around the globe of the soul.
That's real talk. Yeah, I do the internal journey.
You got Lenny Kravitz lyrics. That's like Lenny Kravitz lyrics.
Yeah, but that's true. You do the external journeying, and I do the internal journeying. It took a lot of stepping of Will and I together, apart, together, a lot of understanding, a lot of communication, but it took years.
Yeah.
It took years, and I would say we are just now getting to a place.
Probably, I would say the last year.
Yeah.
Probably.
I've seen a lot of
Last
change in both of you in the last year.
The last
definitely.
year has been amazing.
The paradox of it all is so crazy. The pain that Jada caused me was the pain I needed to survive to learn how to be happy.
Yep, and vice versa.
Right? I've never been happier in my life.
Me either. So, Will, now that we've brought it to the table, are we concerned about all the beautiful rumors that'll now stir up in the media?
Oh, it's gonna be a mess.
All right, so hold on, let's clear some rumors.
People really
It's not
annoy
possible.
me.
No, it's not possible, but just to have it on record, just think historical rumors. We've never been Scientologists.
True.
Okay, what else?
We've never been swingers.
Never been swingers.
Never been swingers.
And people understood that that's a specific lifestyle.
That's a really specific slide. We've never been swingers. What else, Cam? What they gonna say? It's really your friends that we worried about.
You shouldn't be worried about anybody at all at the end of the day because people are gonna believe whatever they want to believe.
Yeah.
And who knows if you know, it might change and transition again.
Yeah. You know why I never got divorced?
It's cheaper to keep me.
No.
I can't believe it. Oh, my goodness.
Because I've never met anybody like you, and I knew if I wasn't with you, I'd be searching in vain for the rest of my life.
Aw, Willard.
Willard. See, sometimes he says the right thing.
The truth.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you, and I just want to say thank you for everything.
Oh, thank you.
We love you.
I love you to death.
You have found something with this red table and in this space that I tried my damnedest to build for you.
Right.
The space where you get to fully and honestly and thoroughly be you and to get all of the love and the praise that you deserve. When I see you on this red table, it is the joy that I have always hoped you would have.
Thank you.
Come here, Bean.
I always knew he was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you,
means a lot to me. I love you.
I love you, baby.